To day one of Connecting Online conference for 2024. This is our 15th anniversary. So kudos to all of you for being here, wherever you happen to be. And to the presenters who are here, you can raise your hand or say hi if you're a presenter. And I guess people will be coming in as we go. Feel free to add where you're from. Okay, so we've got one. I think I saw two presenters. I know there are three today, but there are others from other days. So this is a 3-day online event that's been going on since 2009. So we're going to get started on time, which is what I like to do. So feel free to add to the chat anything you wish as we go. You can ask questions, you can add comments, you can save the chat at the end of the day. Make sure that if you leave and come back, the chat will change from when you were there last. So a little bit about me. I've been organizing this Connecting Online since 2009, as well as MMVC since 2011. And I really appreciate the fact that you're here, because the presenters and the participants, the attendees, are the ones that make this such a meaningful and successful event. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So I've been using technology, the computer labs in computer-assisted language learning since 2000 and, well, not 2000 actually, 1990, 93. And I've been using Moodle since 2003. I've always used technology in my teaching, but I also believe in teamwork, and my work is based on that collaborative learning in both K-12, which is ages 12 to 18, as well as with adult learners. I'm currently the co-chair of TESOL, CALL-IS, and faculty at Immersive Technologies MSc program in the Department of Computer Science at a distance at the International Hellenic University. So that's a little bit about me. And now to the conference area. So the conference is divided into actually 4 venues, 2 main ones, I would say, and the minor ones. So the conference area, the main area where you can get your certificates and digital badges for each day as you reflect on 2 of the, let me just get rid of, the meetings are not locked, so everybody should be able to come in. The recordings, and introduce yourself in a Moodle learning management system called Integrating Technology. This presentation is available there, and I will share the link to this presentation very, very soon. There's also the YouTube playlist. All these are clickable. You can click on that, where you can get all the recordings. The information is also available in a Google Drive. There's about the event. There is the live meetings document with all the presenters, the exact times in your time zones that you can check, and the titles and about the presentations, as well as the presentation bios. If there are any questions up to here, let me know in the chat, and I'll try to answer your questions. Okay, so I'm looking for question marks. Right, so no questions about this. We can continue. If you think of a question later on, feel free to ask your question. Now, these are the presenters. Some of them have been presenting since 2009. Some of them, it's the first time, and others have been presenting for the past couple of years. And you're invited to also present next year if you'd like. And of course, all the presenters can continue presenting. I see Rob Howard has been presenting since he was 17 years old. That's wonderful, Rob. Congratulations. Happy birthday. I'm not sure who else has been presenting, but Rob Howard, I'm glad you're here because you're going to be presenting today, and I'll give you the co-host in a moment. So these are the presenters, and you'll learn more about them as we go. So here we've got 27 presenters from 11 countries, and that's because there are more countries actually. The presenters have migrated from one country to another that may not be their original home. We've got 7. I think that's the number 1. So yay for India. There are 7 representatives, presenters from India, 3 from Poland, 6 from the United States, 2 from Canada, not excluding me, Sweden, 1 from Sweden, 1 from Japan, 1 from South Africa, 2 from Argentina, 2 from Italy, 1 from Uzbekistan, and 1 from Peru. But as I said, these may not be their original countries. So this is a little bit about connecting online. What I've told you already, that this is our 15th anniversary. There are 2 books. One was published in 2012, sorry. And one was published this year in 2024. And some of the presenters who are here have chapters in the books. This year, we're going to have another book. So this is for the presenters of this year. Keep that in mind as you present and think about your book chapter that's going to be based on the presentation. And I hope that everybody presents this year. So this is the book from 2012 that was published. It was called CO12, Connecting Online for Instruction and Learning, International Perspectives. And this is the one that was published in 2024. And as a token of our appreciation, you will be able to get the digital version for free for the next 4 days from February 23, which is today, until Monday, February 26. And you've got the time there, PST. I have no idea why it's PST. But the name of the book is Learning Never Stops, and it's based on CO21. Our presenter, our first presenter of the day, is going to be Dr. Deepika Kali. A little bit about Deepika. She is an assistant professor at Khalsa College of Education in India. She was awarded her PhD degree in the year 2014. She has taught and has researched for the past 14 years in teacher education institutions. You can see she's an active member of lots of chapters, organizations, a lifetime member of Indian Association for Teacher Educators. She's guided more than 40 dissertation at master's level and EDD levels, and you can see a lot more about her, and she'll be speaking right now. So Deepika, welcome, and I'm going to stop screen sharing. So there we are.
So much.
Hello there,
Thank you so much, Dr. Nellie. Thank you so much.
You can start
Greetings of
screen
the day
sharing.
to all. Yeah, sure. First of all, greetings of the day to all. I am happy to here with you all. Today I'll discuss about OERs, because I think it is one of the area which is of everybody's interest nowadays. That is open educational resources. Before moving ahead, I would like to thank Dr. Nele. Thank you so much, Doctor, providing me this opportunity to interact with everyone. And moreover, I'm thankful to everyone present here and some of my friends, some are colleagues. I'm happy to share my views with you today. I'm going to share my screen. I hope this is visible to all. Uh, can you confirm, Doctor? Is it
Yes.
visible? Yes, thank you so
Perfect.
much.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So let's talk about and you know, discuss about open educational resources. And before moving ahead, because many of you is acquainted with this term OERs, some of you are already working under OE for Better World. Some of the like my fellows are present here who are working under the international project that is under UNESCO. Today, my focus would be on opportunities for research. I'm not going to take up what open educational resources basically means. The focus would be on how we can use the open educational resources for our research purposes. This is the table of content just to let you know that content which I'm going to cover today. First of all, OER as research material. Many of you would know that mainly the open educational resources we are talking about, these are the teaching learning material, but it's not only the teaching learning materials, it's also the research material. Second, I'll be talking about role of researcher in the OER ecosystem, because we all are researchers also. If we are teacher or a student or the learner alongside, we are also researcher. Then very important, I'll be covering the two dimensions like using open educational resources for research and research on OER. So this is the two sides of open educational resources. Then little bit about the Paris OER Declaration 2012, funding for research on OER. Some of you are interested to know about the funding opportunity in this area. And last, which is important for the teacher educators and the teachers, what should be the framework to conduct research on open educational resources. So moving ahead, it's a simple definition of open educational resources that is by UNESCO. These are the learning, teaching, and research material. So I'll be talking about research material in any format and medium that reside in the public domain or under the copyright that has been released under an open license that permit no cost access, reuse, repurpose, adaptation, and uh, and redistribution by others. One thing I want to make it clear that everything which seems to be free on net is actually not free. So it doesn't mean it's fully free. There could be some features which are free, some topics, some text which is free but not totally free. So we need to understand the different licenses also before moving ahead to open educational resources. I think some of you might know about the Creative Commons licenses. That is important to know before learning this concept. Now, if I talk about OER as research material, it serves as a valuable research material, providing a wide range of benefit for researchers. These material basically include textbook. It could be a lecture notes, videos, podcasts, software, images, and other resources. It encompasses the diverse formats. It could be including the written text, multimedia, interactive simulations, and more. This variety allows researchers to choose material that best suit their research objective and preferences. Role of researcher in the OER ecosystem. You, me, and researchers across the globe, they play a very vital role in the open educational resources ecosystem because we are contributing to its development, enhancement, and impact. I myself contributing to OER since 2021. Till now, I have developed 3 OERs under OE for Better World UNESCO. And let us see the key roles researchers play in the OER ecosystem. So first of all, we normally create and develop a high quality OERs. We try to develop. The one problem during the development of OER is its validity, its credibility, and reliability. So if your OER is go like it's under review, or it is like there is some committee to review the OERs, that mean that is of a high quality OERs. If you are just developing the OER, putting in some platform for the journal public, but we are not sure about the content validity and credibility. So it is important that whenever we create any OERs or develop any OER, that should be properly reviewed under some, experts. Also, if I talk about the role of researcher in OER, it's like quality assurance by assessing the accuracy, relevance, and pedagogical effectiveness of OER material. Very important, which OER, for better word, UNESCO is emphasizing that curating and organizing existing OER content. Rather than developing new OERs, we can use OER which are already available. And we also need to check the licenses. Next is the conduct research studies to analyze the impact of OER adoption on teaching and learnings, integrate OER into their own research methodologies, and contribute to the development of an open research culture. So, before moving ahead, it's important to understand that open research culture is very important when we talk about open education, open resources, open pedagogy, open assessments. So engagement with OER communities and interdisciplinary collaboration within the OER ecosystem for discussions, sharing insight, and collaborate with other contributors to improve and expand the OER ecosystem. So collaboration is also important when we talk about role of researcher. Now let's talk about the two major dimensions which I want to focus. First is using open educational resources for research. So if you know about the different resources which are open, you can use it into your, teaching learning process along with your research purpose, right? And many a time we ignore open educational resources. We don't consider these resources for our research purposes, but we can use it if it's credible, reliable. I'm using this word again and again, that the OER which are credible, reliable, the content is valid. You cannot follow each and every, kind of resources for your research purpose, because research is a like sophisticated activity, or you can say that it's a scientific activity. Second dimension is research on OERs, because we can conduct our researches. It could be action research or the survey based research on OERs which are already available online or free of cost. Now, if I talk about dimension one, where OER uses for conducting research is important, it refers to the utilization of open educational research in the research processes. So if you are at the master's level or PhD level or EDD level, like doctorate level, or you are, doing some project, government project, or any kind of project, or you are working on some, article, research article, you can use OERs for conducting your researches, right? It basically means you can utilize open educational resources in your research process. OER uses for conducting research, it expands the traditional research toolkit by incorporating openly licensed educational material, fostering collaboration, and promoting accessibility to knowledge. So whenever we focus on OERs, definitely when we are referring to the OERs of some other expert, it expand our network, it expand the collaborations. Now this is just an infographic, how we can use the OERs for conducting research. Like, it basically provides us the interdisciplinary research opportunities. So we are from any discipline, we can refer to the other discipline resources. It also helps us to review the literature, that is the reviewing the literature which is already there. It should be related to your area of interest or the problem. Also help in the data collection and analysis, teaching and learning resources, resource accessibilities, customization and adaptation. So many a time we need to customize our, open educational resources. And in that case, we can use OERs for our research purposes. Then for global collaborations and innovative technologies and methodologies. So how we can use open educational resources for our research purposes. Now let's delve into each point with specific examples. So this is like I try to cover all the points, taking into consideration the few examples and platforms and websites that illustrate how researcher can use open educational resources to conduct research. So just theoretical knowledge is not enough. So I wanted to engage you that you should know the different platforms and the website that you can refer to during your research processes. Moving ahead, if we are using OER to accessing the knowledge or the information or for resource accessibility. Like OER provides researcher with free access to a wealth of educational material. It includes textbook, article, multimedia content, and more. Now, for a researcher, you can use OER to assess up-to-date information without the financial barriers, often associated with traditional educational resources. So, in open educational resources, many a time, most of the time, these are free. So, example, we can take like we have OpenStax. Now, others like Wikibooks, Project, Gutenberg, Nova Project, LibreText, Trust, Digital Library. So, there are so many platforms, so many examples are there. I just want to clarify, or just want to give a outlook of its uses. Now these are some of the platforms which you can use, like openly licensed peer review textbook covering a wide range of subject, and researcher, being a researcher, you can access these textbook for free, obtaining a high quality information without a cost barriers. Moving ahead, Open Educational Resources Indian Initiative. I just want, because I am representing my country like India. So these are some of the initiative of Indian government where we are providing the open educational resources. Expert from different universities, like renowned universities in India, they are initiating in this like a whole development of these open educational resources, like NAPTEL, that is the National Program of Technology Enhanced Learning, Sakshat, Consortium for Educational Communication, Eklavya, Virtual Learning Environment, Institute for Lifelong Learning, National Institute of Open Schooling, that is basically the open educational resources for school students, National Repository of Open Educational Resources, creation of e-content on fermentation technology, NCT OER portal, and many more. So Indian government have like initiated great efforts with the help of different experts, and we can also refer all these in like platforms for our research purposes. Now, if your focus is on the literature review, you want, because whenever you are conducting any research, definitely you want to refer the existing researches which has been done by the like expert across the globe, nationally or internationally. So for literature review, OERs can be a valuable, which allow researchers to explore and integrate openly licensed content relevant to their research topics. So you can use OER repository to find peer-reviewed articles, textbook, other resources that contribute to your literature review. So we have OER Commons. So generally, when we look for OER Commons, what you need to do is you need to register with OER Commons. You should be a member of OER Commons. You just submit your resource to their website, then they will give send you a confirmation mail like your OER is accepted and approved, and they will be uploaded on OER common website. So it's like it also contribute to your e-content development journey or in your portfolio. But you can also refer all those resources which are available on OER commons, because they were like posted on the website after a peer review or like the review by the OER commons. JSTOR Open Content Core Directory of Open Access Journals. So these are some of the examples. So OER Common is a digital library where researcher can find a variety of OERs, including textbook, article, and multimedia resources. So basically, it's a valuable resources for like literature review across different disciplines. Moving ahead for your data collection and analysis, because this is one of the most important part of our research, where we need to collect the data. Though you are working on a quantitative researches or a qualitative researches, data it plays a significant role. Your all findings and result that depends upon your data collection. So OER may include data sets, simulations, and other resources suitable for research in various fields. And you can use OER material for data collection, analysis, and experimentation, which contributing to the empirical aspect of their research. We have MIT Open Course eWare. I think you must have heard about MIT. It's very popular nowadays. Other is a Kaggle, Google Dataset, Search, World Bank Data, our World in Data. MIT Open Courseware offer free accessible course material, including lecture notes and data sets. And you can use these resources for data collection, analysis, and gaining insight into like previous researches. Moving ahead to customization and adaptation, if like OER material are openly licensed and allowing the researcher to customize and adapt content to fit their specific research needs. So you can modify OER content to create tailored like educational material or research tools, ensuring the relevance to their particular research projects. Now, the examples are Connection is other OpenStack, CNX, Sailor Academy, Hippocamp. So, Connections is an open source platform that allow users to create, share, and modify educational content. And you can adapt and customize material to suit their specific research needs. So there are many other platforms also. I'm just giving you the common examples. And if you are referring to teaching and learning resources, definitely OER including the textbook, lecture material that can be used as a supplementary resources for teaching learning. But if you are a researcher, you can integrate OER into your educational settings. For example, if you are conducting some experimentation, like you need to give some treatment to your student to enhance their achievement, then also you can use to existing OERs, the lesson plan also, which you can use or integrate into your classroom to see the effect on your like students. So you can integrate OERs into your educational settings, into your classroom, which contribute to the dissemination of the research findings and engaging with the broader audiences. Now, like we have Merlot, others like MIT, OpenCourseWare, Canvas, Commons, and Merlot. Basically, it's a multimedia educational resource for learning and online teaching. Is a repository of OER. It includes textbooks, simulations. So you need to access, like you need to go through all the platform before referring to a particular platform. I'm not referring to a particular, but there are many which are available online that depend upon your need and the requirement. Now, if I talk about interdisciplinary research opportunities, the OER repository cover a wide range of disciplines. It's not like it's only covering a particular discipline or area, it's interdisciplinary. So it offers you a interdisciplinary research opportunity. And nowadays, if we see like 21st century, that's focusing on skill development and interdisciplinary subjects, or development of skills taking into consideration the different disciplines. It's not like we need to master the student in a particular field. So even if we go through our policy, National Policy 2020, it talked about the interdisciplinary approach. So even in case of researches, we can have an interdisciplinary approach. So we can explore material from different fields, fostering cross-disciplinary insight and collaboration in the research, in our research projects. And it enhances the credibility and quality of your research. So OER by discipline at OER Commons, you can find out, because OER Common provide a section dedicated to interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary. So when you log into OER Commons, you will see that there are various resources available, but along with there is one section which is dedicated to interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary resources. So you can go through you can explore those resources. Moving ahead to global collaboration and open licensing, because if we are meeting today for online online conference, the purpose is to sharing the knowledge at the global level. So it is a clear cut example of our global collaborations, right? So even in if case of researches, OER platform often facilitate collaborations among educator, researcher, and learner on a global scale. So researcher can engage with the global OER community, sharing insight, collaborating on the projects, right? Like we have Wikiversity, GoGN Network, Canvas Network. So I'm also the member of GoGN Network. It's a wonderful, opportunity to connect with the OER community. Now, if I talk about innovative methodologies and technologies, OER platform offer like embrace innovative technologies, and you can explore and adopt emerging tools and practices showcased within OER environments. Like we have Coursera, while not entirely open, I just want to highlight this. Everything which is free or open is not totally free, right? So while not entirely open, Coursera offer courses with free access to educational material. So we need to look at that how we can benefit to the existing OER resources. So up till this, I have covered dimension one, like if you are researchers, how you can utilize the open educational resources into your research processes, even for your collaborations, even for your networking, even for your funding. And second dimension is research on OER. I think many of you are interested in this aspect, like how we can conduct a researches on OER. So if we see the trend nowadays, various resources and open educational resources that are available on the internet, and we can easily access to it, but there is a need to conduct the research on it. Now, why there is a need to conduct the research on OERs? Just to check whether these are authentic, credible, reliable, valid, or whatever you want to, like it's a utilitarian, it's practical, or it's interdisciplinary. So research on open educational resources basically involves a systematic investigation and analysis of various aspects which is related to the creation, uses, impact, and effectiveness of open educational resources, right? So I think much of the work need to done in this area. It covers two major areas, some notable work till now. So I'll be covering some notable work which has already been done, and second would be few research area which I'll be suggesting you or referring to, which I'm interested in and want the others to conduct research on. So I'll be covering like some significant studies and trends up until the point of few notable research study. So it is like the literature review. I collect some data with the help of like some tools, right? Researches on the OERs. And second, research on OER covers a variety of topics. It includes their impact on education, include its effectiveness, its accessibility, and challenges associated with their implementation. Now, first of all, let's delve into the significant studies and trends up until the point of few notable research studies and areas of focus. So first, the impact of open educational resources on various student success matrices that were in the year of 2016. I'm not going to like read everything. I just want to give the hints. Like there is a need to conduct the research on OERs. Second, in 2019, there was a study on review of the effectiveness and perception of open educational resources as compared to textbook. In 2013, the adoption of open educational resources by one community college math department. Then in the year 2015, open educational resources and college textbook choices, a review of research on efficacy and perceptions. Then open educational resources adoption impact in the global south 2017, opening the textbook educational resources in US higher education 2017. Then a multi-institutional study of the impact of open textbook adoption on the learning outcome of post-secondary student in 2012. Incentive and barrier to OER adoption, a qualitative analysis of faculty perception 2016. It is not in chronological order. It just I have given the references for it. OER use in the age of coronavirus, a survey of the instructors. It's in 2020. So these were some of the work which has already been done by different experts in the OERs. So what I have observed that there is no much work has been done on this area. So these study provide a snapshot of the diverse research landscape around OERs, which encompassing areas such as efficacy, faculty and student perception, and the impact of cultural and contextual factors. So keep in mind that ongoing research continually adds to our understanding of OER and its role in education. Now, second is research on OER cover a variety of topics. Now, this is area of interest of many. Like if you are a researcher, you want to conduct a research on OER. So this section would help you or it's for you. Like this basically include the topics like the impact on education, its effectiveness, accessibility, and challenges associated with their implementation. So research on OER can encompass a wide range of topic and methodologies. Now, first of all, if you are focusing on quality and effectiveness, so like I am more interested in this area. Like if I want to conduct research on OER, definitely my first priority is I'll be focusing on the quality and effectiveness of the OER, because there are thousand and lakhs of OER which are available, but I will be referring only to those OERs which are like qualitative in nature, like which has some quality. So if I need to conduct the research on OER, my focus area would be quality and effectiveness of that OER. So the research assessing the quality and effectiveness of OER material, Why the major objective is to evaluate the impact of OER on learning outcomes, student engagement, and educational effectiveness. So this can include comparative studies with additional resources. Secondly, if you want to conduct research on pedagogical approaches with OER, so here the focus area could be research investigating pedagogical strategies using OER. If you are a teacher, you might use some innovative strategies into your classroom like techniques. So this area would help you to know about the different pedagogical approaches within OER ecosystem. So the objective is to explore innovative teaching methods, instructional design principles, learning strategies that leverage OER. So this research can contribute to the development of effective educational practices. If you want to work on the accessibility and inclusivity, if we talk about OER, that must be accessible. So everybody from the diverse background, they can easily accessible or access to OER. And inclusivity, it is one of our sustainable development goal, like inclusion of all. So then your focus area would be research which examine the accessibility and inclusivity of OER. And in this case, your objective would be these objectives you can frame into your research study, like investigate how OER can address educational inequalities, support diverse learning styles, and improve access to education for marginalized population. Now, if you want to study on the long-term impact and sustainability of OERs, so this is for you, research on the long-term impact. The objective could be you want to assess the scalability, longevity, and institutional impact of OER adoption, explore factors that influence the sustainability of OER programs. If you need to work on economic and social implications of OER, so the objective would be examine the economic benefits for educational institutions, students, and society. So investigate how OER adoption can contribute to reduce educational cost and increasing educational equity. So in this era, we are also focusing on the education which is inclusive in nature, where everybody can be a part of that system, along with cost effective. So sometime OER like help to cover these features. Now let us now delve into the realm of open educational resources after examining pertinent research study and areas, while also considering notable example and platform of application associated with this domain. Now, quality and effectiveness, we have the OER Research Hub. The OER Research Hub conduct research on the impact of OER in teaching and learning, so you can collaborate with them. And it provides insight into the quality and effectiveness of OER through various research projects and publications. Now, if your area is pedagogical approaches with OER, you can like refer to Merlot Pedagogy Portal. So Merlot Pedagogy Portal offer resources and research on effective pedagogical approaches using OER. So basically, it provides a platform for educator and researcher to share innovative teaching methods. Accessibility and inclusivity, global OER graduate network. It focuses on research related to accessibility and inclusivity of OER in education. So you can see how different platform or the website or network, they are serving a different area of researches. Long-term impact, you can refer to sustainability of OER initiative research study. So this research study published in the International Review of Research in Open and Distributed Learning and explore the sustainability of OER initiatives. Now, economic and social implications, OECD report on OER. So you can refer to OECD which research the economic and social implications of OER adoption. And moreover, this report provides insight into the potential benefit and challenges which are associated with your OER. Now, this is about your Paris OER Declaration 2012. This is important to we should have the knowledge of this Paris OER Declaration, because it has given some recommendation, like it's important to foster awareness and use of OERs, which we are doing nowadays, facilitate enabling environment for use of ICTs, reinforce the development of strategic and policies on OER, promote the understanding and use of open licensing frameworks, support capacity building for the sustainable development of quality learning material, foster strategic alliances for OER, encourage the development and adoption of OER in a variety of languages. So this is also important. If we can contribute by translating the OER into the regional languages or the common languages, it would be a great contribution to the open community. So like encourage OER on research on OERs, facilitating finding, retrieving, and sharing of OER, encourage the open licensing for educational materials. So these are some of the recommendations by Paris OER Declaration. Now, if I talk about the funding of research on OER, I need to be a little fast, I think, because we have next session also. So I'm talking about the India and international funding opportunities. Like we have Department of Science and Technology, DST, Government of India. So that is basically like exploring the relevant program and scheme that support innovative projects. University Grant Commission, they are like providing the grants. Then we have an NMEICT, National Mission on Education through Information and Technology. Even I want to mention that if you are from the different countries, you can also apply to ICSSR projects. Like we have some like this agencies, government organization ICSSR, which provide funds in the area of social sciences, and the some of the like projects, or you can say the researches, are open for the international like experts who are PhD holders. You can refer to their website uh, for different projects. Right now, they are working on collaborating the project with Japan and Taiwan. That's the deadlines are over now. So we have some international association like Open Society Foundation, Havlet Foundation, International Development Research Center, Canada, but you need to check their website about the current positions. European Commissions like Erasmus Plus program, I think many of you must know about it, and also working like I know EBA is also working for Erasmus, Commonwealth of Learning, COL. And one thing I want to mention that COL has right now they have opened application for mentorship. So you can apply. The last date is March 8. You can like fill that application and be a part of that COL community. Then UNESCO. So these are some of the direct web links. I'll share this PowerPoint presentation with Dr. Nile, and you can refer to this. Some suggestive title for teacher and educator for research on OER. This is just a specific topics. Like if you want to conduct the quantitative researches, qualitative and mixed researches, these are some of the titles. I'm not going to, go through these titles, just it's the glimpse of that. You can analyze the impact, comparative cost benefit analysis. So you can conduct the researches on OER, taking into consideration your approach like qualitative research, quantitative research, or the mixed researches. So these are the examples of the quantitative research titles or the projects. Like some qualitative research titles of the projects, like Voices of Educator. You can have the Voices of Educator across the globe related to OER implementation and challenges. Narrative of Change, qualitative case studies. You can also have a qualitative examination of faculty perception OERs. Yeah, if you want to conduct mixed method researches, you can, yes, understanding the complex landscape, you can conduct the comparative studies also, assessing its impact. So these are some of the like example which is related to a mixed method study on on OERs. Now, the last is framework to conduct research on open educational resources. So I just want to mention that more or less the framework for research is same for other, because it's we are conducting the research on open educational resources, but the step or the process would be same. Like developing a research framework, it involves establishing the theoretical foundation. You need to conceptualize your variable and outlining the methodology. So today my focus was on mainly on the research part. So first of all, you need to set up your introduction, your background, provide an overview of the current state of OER adoption, highlight the significance of OER. Then you need to set up the rationale or emergence of your study, justify the need for the study, emphasize the gaps in the existing research, but particularly only on the OERs, because I am focusing only on the OERs. Clearly state your research problem, research statement, and its relevance. Then you need to chalk out your aims and objective, which should be aligned with your research questions or the hypothesis. Then theoretical framework, you can cover up some open educational theories and adoption theories. Literature review, you need to conduct the preliminary literature review like OER adoption and educational outcomes. So for conceptual frameworks, you can identify some variables. Like it depends upon your research, quantitative or qualitative or mixed. You can also see the relationship between the different variables. So you need to decide your research design, your approach, what approach you are going to take up, your sampling, your population. Is it a teacher, teacher educator, particular region, location, or area? Here you need to cover your sampling design, sampling method, and sample size. Then you need to cover up or like mention about your data collection methods and data analysis. And very important ethical consideration if we are conducting research, though in the area of OERs or for other purposes, ethical consideration is important, like informed consent from the participant and your institutional review board. Like you need to take up some step which take into consideration the ethic. Also need to mention the timelines. So if you are working on some proposal to submit for some agencies, these are some of the framework or the step you need to take care of. You also need to mention your detailed timelines, right? Then expected results. You will discuss potential outcome, which is based on the research design and existing literature. Then you need to come up with your summary, key point or components which emphasize the contribution of the study to the field of OER. So more or less, at the end, your recommendation should be like fruitful, useful for the OER ecosystem. If you are working on OER, like research on OER, your end like outcome should be a good or a useful recommendation or implication for OER community. So now let's enjoy some platforms. Just a glimpse, open access. So open education source software. These are some of the software which are open. It's different from open educational resources, but just I want to highlight. You can use it, changing the philosophy toward an open movement. So we have open, like these are some of the screenshots from the websites. OER Common that I was referring to, OER Commons, Creative Commons licenses, major platform sharing CC work. These are some of the platforms which share the CC work, Creative Commons, OER repository, extensively used for your research purpose like Malert, Open Course Library, OpenStack, OER Common, Kuriki, Open Educational Resources, Open Education Consortium, Open Learn, Flickr. So contribution to these open access resources like for Dr. Ramesh sir, acknowledging the work of OER creators, it's important. So whenever you are referring to OER, still it's important to acknowledge the work of OER creator. Even if it's of open licenses, if you are referring to any resource which are under open licenses, still it's better to acknowledge or cite the proper resources into your research study. So that is better to acknowledge the work of OER creator because it requires a lot of hard work to create any OERs. Thank you so much. This is an overview of my presentation. The just a brief, it was research on OERs. So I have covered two dimensions: how you can use your OERs for your research purpose. Secondly, how you can conduct your researches on OERs. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Bringing back OER is really, really
Dr.
important,
Nellie.
especially now with AI being the number one. I wanted to remind everybody that I've added the link, and I'm adding it again, to join us for the takeaways. And Dr. Dupika, I believe you're registered, so you're there. If you could start a discussion on OER, and then you can add all the information as well as your the link to your presentation, if you could share that with me, and I'll add that to the Google Doc as well. So are there any questions that you'd like to ask? Please add them in the chat box, and try not to reply in private. Try to reply in for everyone so we can see, and add your chat to everyone and not to anyone in specific because we don't see that.
Okay, so there is one question from Mohammed, like can an ongoing PhD candidate be apply? Yes. Like you need like to read the guidelines whenever you need to apply for any like projects for research. You need to read the guidelines. So there are some research projects which require PhD awarded, and some like you are associated with some other like mentor or like PhD holder and can work as a research assistant or a research associate if you are not PhD. So there are different avenues in that case. Yes, Eva, thank you so much for referring to that. Thank you, Dr. Nile.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you so
everyone.
much. And please, we want to continue the discussion and we can't do it here right now. So that's why the LMS is so important. And I'm going to keep adding the link in case you missed it, and you can continue adding the link. Please join us in the LMS where we can continue discussing this very, very important topic that maybe some of you are not aware of. So
Yes.
thank you. Thank